to Divine Connection.
Good evening, ladies. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Divine Connections. I am your host, Katrina Deal-McCall.
And I am your co-host. Yes, it is me, Sherilyn Eppinger. I know I look different this week, but it's me. It's Sherilyn. I'm here.
Welcome. And also a huge welcome to our listeners on WJWW as well. Now, Sherilyn, go ahead and introduce our panel today.
Well, as always, well, not always, because we did have one break in there, but tonight it is ladies' night.
Again.
And we are in here with some phenomenal ladies' night, and we're feeling all right. So we have Miss Carmon and also Miss Breauna. So we are so happy to have you all with us today. We welcome you, and I'm going to just pop it right off. So, Sister Carmon, I want you to start off first and just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then right after Breauna, you just jump right in and give us a little introduction about yourself.
All right. Well, my name is Carmon Hinton, and I am the CEO of RISE Coaching and Consulting. RISE stands for Responsive Instruction for Success in Education, and I focus on training parents who have children with ADHD and autism. I'm also a full-time teacher in the classroom. So.
Oh, awesome. Welcome, Carmon.
Welcome.
Nice. I have a consulting company as well. We pretty much help people start their own businesses and things like that. And I'm also an owner of a nonprofit teaching leadership skills and life skills.
All right. Welcome, Breauna. Welcome. All right. So we are just going to dive right on in. So, Carmon, we're just going to zero back to the CEO of RISE. So tell me, I want a little backstory, how that all came about, because I know God moved some things and made some divine connections to get that up and running. So go ahead and share with us.
Absolutely. So I started off working for the County Board of DD in Summit County when I was living in Ohio. And there you worked with adults who had different ranges of disabilities, and I found a passion for it. And at the time I was pregnant with my son. And so I had decided, I want to go into education because now I want to work with children who have disabilities. And so I ended up started off at the Cleveland Metropolitan School District. And I started off as a paraprofessional, which is like a teacher's aide for those who are unfamiliar. And, just trying to get my foot in the door and start off, so that when I had to do student teaching, because I went back for my master's in education, when I had to do student teaching, I was already in the schools. And so one day I'm driving in the car, and I don't tell people this a lot of times because some people just don't understand how God is and how he works and how he speaks to us. And everybody is not able to believe or receive what you're saying because they have not experienced that divine connection with him.
Mm-hmm.
But I was driving in the car and I was pregnant, and I heard clear as day, "You're gonna have a son with special needs." And I said, "No, I'm not." He said, "But you're gonna be equipped to handle it." Wow. And I was like, I don't care if I'm equipped to handle it or not. I mean, I don't want that. I don't want, nobody wants something. Everybody wants their child to come out healthy, and you don't want those challenges. That's not the life you want for your child, And so I was just like, Lord, no. And so I gave birth to him, and he had his 10 fingers, 10 toes. I'm thinking, cool, we good. Everything is good. And later on, as he began to start, it really started, I would say, in like preschool. I just saw that he had issues with social skills, which I'm like, okay, no big deal. A lot of kids, they don't know how to act socially. You have to train them. You have to show them the way. So he was only 3. And so then the teacher started saying something like, "Oh, I think you should take him for an observation," and I was like kind of offended. And then one time we went to the doctor's office, and my son has still to this day a lot of energy. So he was all over the place like a ball, like ping, 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 ping. all over the doctor's office. And the doctor was so calm about it. And he was writing. He's like, hey, do you want to referral to behavioral health? And I'm looking like, for what? You know, like what I need a referral for? And he was like, okay, never mind. And I was like, moving on. And then it took for Thanksgiving Day, we were visiting my aunt's and my uncle's house. My son was off to himself in the room playing. And my uncle came in there playing with them, and he didn't really know this uncle, you know, very well. So he just fell out, tantruming, screaming, hollering. And then my uncle said some pretty harsh words to him, you know, like, you need to get that in some help. That was his exact words. And so I just was devastated. You know, I was devastated by it. I was infuriated. I was like, I'm never coming back. I'm you know, at that time I thought what was helping him was sheltering him. Well, we'll just stay at home. We won't go anywhere, you know. And so my aunt talked to me. She said, I know you're tired. And I was tired. I was getting no sleep. He ended up being diagnosed with ADHD, ODD, which is oppositional defiant disorder, and then later on diagnosed with anxiety, and then he also has sensory processing disorder. So it just explained a lot of the triggers, a lot of the things that were going on with him, sensitivities to sound, flushing the toilet, you know, the blender, the vacuum going off. And it was just not like the average kid who would just be like, you know, walk away. He would fall out and cry and scream and hold his ears. So when he began school, you know, I had some challenges in the beginning because he started off at like a charter school, and they kept saying, well, he is not eligible for an IEP because he doesn't have any academic problems. And my son is super smart. And I'm like, well, you don't have to have, and being in the field, I'm like, you don't have to just have academic problems, but if the behavior is impeding the academics, then that is a problem. He is eligible. But they didn't want, they denied him. So I brought him to the school that I worked at the time, and sure enough, he was approved. And it was just one challenge after another, though. And you would think because I was a teacher and these were my peers that they would be more empathetic and open to helping me, and they weren't. I actually had one teacher, because this was my first year of teaching. I had I asked her some questions, and she said, didn't you go to school? If you want to be educated, then you need to call me after the hours of 9 o'clock. That's what this woman told me. And you guys, I'm telling you, the Lord had his hands on me, because back in the day, Carmon, snap, crackle, and pop. Okay. She sure did. And she was coming out because I was offended. And I felt like, had this been maybe even a different race that came to her, had it been you know, someone that she didn't respect me, you know, as a parent of a child who attends the school, let alone her peer. So all that being said, you know, we began to start the process of getting my son help, and it took a lot of fighting for me to make sure that other people did what they were supposed to do when it came to him. And so I said, if I'm in education and I'm dealing with these challenges, what are the parents who don't know their rights or aren't in the center of it all? What are they facing? Right. And so that's when I decided that from that day forward, that I was going to continue to advocate for my son, but then other children like him.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Yes. You know, my pastor often says, you can't take nobody nowhere you've never gone. You've never been, and to relate. And what we go through, you know, it helps you to be able to tap in to reach so many other people. That is so awesome.
Yes, yes, that is awesome. Now, Breauna, I wanted to know a little more about your company as well. You're the owner of Wisdom Works and Consulting. So tell us a little more detail about what you do.
What don't I do? Well, the main focus is to help people start their businesses as well as grow them. The shortest way I can say it is we do all the administrative tasks. So, for example, if you're starting a business, don't know how to start it, don't know how to structure it, we do like LLCs, LLPs, trademarks, any of the legalities. We do that, as well as websites. And we also have a promotion team that goes out and helps promote that company as well. So that can be through social media marketing. We help with events, anything that's going to help you grow your business. So that's pretty much the gist of it.
Oh, awesome.
Girl, we're gonna be talking after this. Let me text you my phone number right now.
All right.
And I was just gonna say, with that field as well, I know you make a lot of connections with people, a lot of divine connections.
Yeah.
Can you think of any time where you just happen to be a place that you didn't think that it was going to be connected to your business, where you actually made a connect to a client? Because God has that way. When he gives you a vision, he makes those provisions and those connections with people to grow that vision.
Well, this was kind of cool. With my business, what I did was I pretty much took all of my different passions and put it into one company. So my client is not only the business owners, but people like authors. I published a book, so I help them publish their books and do copyrights and things like that. When I was a little younger, I used to rap. So I met like a lot of people in the rap field. And it was kind of cool because a guy, and I think we were in middle school together, he just popped back up and he's like, hey, I need you to do my legitimize me, make me more legit. I'm a rapper. I want a record label. I want a music publishing company. So as I was doing these different projects for him, he looked up and he's like, I'm paying everything right now. I made like $2,000 in one day. And I'm just looking at God like, hey, what's going on? I never did anything like that before. And I never expected to run across him, So when that happened, he kind of opened up a new level for my business, because I started off working with just, regular business owners, not the musicians. It was like, you know what, I can take all of the skills that I have from all the things that I do and just add it and put it up under one, hold on.
One umbrella, you can say that.
One umbrella, there we go.
There it is. Uh-huh.
Put it all up under one umbrella, and it doesn't take away from my vision, because that was the main thing that I was really scared of. God gave you these talents. He tell you to be fruitful. He tell you to be, to multiply, and I multiply my talents. We already know that the talents aren't given to just us. They're for other people. So in order to elevate and grow others, I was like, let me dig deeper into myself. What are the things that I've done? What are the skills that I cultivated throughout the years? And how can I apply it without messing up my brand? And it happened to all fall under administration. So I found out I have the gift of administration. And I know I went a little bit off topic. I'm sorry.
No,
you're fine.
Yeah, I actually have a question about that. How important, or would you say, because I have a small business that I'm running as well, and getting into it, having someone help me, it's a lot of things that you don't. So to small business owners, how important is it to have stuff, not jumping through, like not taking shortcuts, not trying to go under the table about things? Like, how important, if you can stress to business owners, is it to have your stuff?
I honestly believe it depends on your goal. It's very important, but sometimes people think they can't even start their business, like do anything pertaining to it, unless it's legalized. And sometimes they become stagnant.
Okay.
So I would say it would depend on the vision that you have. It's kind of half and half, but the overall goal should be legit in every way. Like I have some people that like wanted to start a nonprofit, and they feel like, oh, well, it's nothing I can do. I want to help people, but it's nothing I can do because I don't know how to legalize it. And it's like, you can start your mission now. If you have a mission, you have a goal, go out here and start helping people now. And we can work on the paperwork as we go. A lot of people with nonprofits, once they even become legit with their nonprofit, it's like they automatically go, they're at a standstill, because they're like, oh, I didn't know my 501c3 would take me 6 months to a year. I can't do anything. Like, you don't need that tax exempt in order to do the works of your program,
Right. Right.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
That's a good point. Really
It
good
is.
point.
It is. Now, Carmen, I want to go back to Rise as well. Now, with Rise, helping individuals, and I love how you said in your bio, helping the rights of individuals with children or with special needs. Now, in that field as well, do you have like a organization, a car? How do you connect with the people that need your services? I mean, are you like registered with the schools? How does that work?
So right now it's just been word of mouth. I post on social media, so people who know me know that this is what I've done for years. Prior to even starting Rise, I was just always the person that someone would call if they had questions, like, oh, I have a friend, she has a child with autism. I used to teach children with autism. I also, like I said, I've taught a range of kids with special needs, ranging from multiple handicaps all the way, ADHD. So people kind of just know that's what I do, and they send people my way. That's what it's been thus far. Connecting with people on social media has been the biggest part. So I'm not in schools right now. My goal is to get into the schools. The problems that I face, though, is that when you work for the schools, they consider that double dipping. So they're not going to really hire my company to do work for the schools if I'm already employed with them. And so that's why I have not gone that route yet. However, I have contracted with some homeschool companies, and I teach their population of parents. And right now, working on a contract. I don't even really know if I should say or not, but I'm working on a contract right now to help parents who have children in Nigeria.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is
Carmen,
awesome.
Carmen, what's something about special needs children from you working with them and having the passion that, that you can tell us that we may be missing or overlooking, or, how sometimes we just want to put them and just leave it there, don't want to deal with it. Like you said before, of course, you don't want your child to go through the challenges, but some people are just not versed enough with a special needs child, and we just have a stigma. So what is something that you can help us or tell us about special needs children that may help us to look at them differently, advocate for them a little bit better, or just to be able to relate?
Man, there are so many things. For some reason, we tend to think that if a kid has any type of diagnosis, it's a learning disability. And so I always, especially when it comes down to ADHD, have to remind people that ADHD isn't a learning disability. These kids are capable, and a lot of them are like brilliant in some ways. Same thing with autism. Like children with autism, you might have a challenge in one area, but then be super brilliant in another, musically, number memorization, there's all kind of things. So I think the first thing that people think is if a child has a diagnosis that they can't learn, or they have a issue with learning. And a lot of times it's not that they have an issue with learning, it's that they learn differently. And a lot of times we're not reaching them the way they learn. We're so stuck in a box of teaching kids the exact same way. They go to the same class, do the same things, take the same tests, and it's supposed to tell you whether they're a great student or not. And that's just not how it is for every kid. It's not, education shouldn't be cookie cutter. So that's one of the things. The other things I think I would say, the thing I would think I would want to bring up is, we're so judgmental. We are so judgmental. You'll see a kid in a store, and I have been guilty of it, but after I had my son, God kind of checked my spirit with that. But you will see a kid falling out in the store, and you're like, what's the first thing we say? Oh, send him home with me for a week. He wouldn't be doing that. Oh, she need to whoop his butt, or her butt. And we are just so judgmental, and nobody ever thinks like, man, something might be going on, or think about what the parent is dealing with. Because if you've never had a child with any kind of diagnosis, you don't know what to do. We all think we know what to do, but those things that may have worked for other children don't necessarily work for them. You just have to be a little more open-minded on how you do things. So that would be the two main things that I would mention.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's good information to know. Now, I wanted to say too, so Carmen, even with you have out, that is great. I can see God working his hand in that, and then expanding your territory on this. This is great. But also in where you are, is there other like avenues that you want to try to reach other type of businesses that you want to reach out to for this need? Because I think this is something we all need. There's a lot of people that don't know, how to deal with certain things, and like you said, it's so judgmental. So
absolutely. One of the biggest things for me, I would love to reach out to the churches. A lot of churches have their own child care centers inside, or Sunday school programs. And I do feel like in order for our families to feel comfortable coming to church, they need to be comfortable with leaving their kid in the church. And so I do feel like our churches, if you're operating any kind of, child care center, there has to be some training on how to work with kids with special needs. Also daycare centers. A lot of our daycare centers, and I used to work for a daycare center. I was young. I had no idea, no training. And you just kind of go in there and think, if you teach them their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, you done did that. You're the cream of the crop teacher in there, And so what I saw is that a lot of times some of the kids who had like behavior problems or did not fit into that box, they were getting booted out the daycares. They were getting kicked out. And it's like, what are these parents supposed to do? So I do feel like our daycare centers need training as well.
Yeah, most
more
definitely.
Training, because I do know I believe it's mandatory that they have some kind of training, but it's not the thorough training that they would need.
Awesome. Now, Breauna, I just want to mention our divine connection. You are actually related to a good friend of ours, Donnell, who referred, she was looking to do her photo shoot for her business. And so that's how that divine connection started. So I want to say, Breauna, at the time when you were just starting up, and I think you mentioned too that your mom's in the business as well.
You said my mom's in the business?
Yeah, does she help out with your business?
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
She does like some of the interviews and things like that for me. I have her help out with the books, things like that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So since our last meeting, what has opened up for you? What kind of other connections and things like that?
There's a lot going on. I got an office finally. I was really excited about that.
Nice.
Yes.
That came from a client actually. She was like, you really need an office. She's like, all of this work you're doing, you need an office. And I agreed. But I was thinking like with offices, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to afford an office just yet. You think of an office, well, I know when I think of one, I'm thinking it's going to be extremely pricey. Yeah. And I'm not sure at the time if I had that in my budget. But she's like, oh, no, it's not going to be extremely pricey. She's like, I know the person that owns the building. She set up a whole appointment. I went down, I spoke to him, and it became affordable for me. So I was just like, look at God,
Divine connection.
Divine.
Yes. And that really shocked me. I was like,
oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Maybe that wasn't such a long-term goal because
right.
It snuck up on me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, I wanted to mention too, Breauna, you also do some other things outside of your business as well. I think when we spoke last too, it was some kind of like community clothing drive, is that like a charity-based thing? Can you speak a little about that? Because I think that's a big need that our community needs to hear about.
Okay, so Wisdom Works is my LLC. The clothing drive we were doing was for the nonprofit that I have. And we teach leadership skills and life skills to 6th to 12th graders in Collinwood Recreation Center. That company has 2 different departments. One department focuses on the youth, 6th to 12th graders, and the second department focuses on the community. So that's just one of the things that we do for the community. We collect clothing, we give them out to the different shelters and things like that. And we've been running that the whole month.
Nice.
That's great. Now, is this something every month? Is this going to continue, or every quarter? How does that work?
Probably about every 3 months. It's been going on now. This is our 6th year doing it. So just try to be frequent with it. Sometimes I'm a little off schedule, but I try to at least get it done every 3 months.
Now, you said to building skills. So is it do you go into the schools? How do they find that program, that nonprofit?
What we do is we set up presentations at the different schools. We do a presentation. If the kids are interested in being a program, we have them fill out their forms, and then we follow up with the parents from there.
Okay, and now since, as we know, COVID, we have all had to be a little creative and change things up a little bit about, working the things that we do. So how does that work with COVID now? Some schools are, having, children in there or students in the school, and some are teaching from home, remote from home. So how does that work?
Well, it's been a struggle. We've now switched over to virtual. But with us being located in the Collinwood Recreation Center, they went from telling us, go ahead and continue to do the program here, but you can only have 6 kids. And it was horrible for us because we usually have about 18 kids. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, this is not going to work. Then it went from the 6 kids to, hey, the numbers in Ohio keep going up. You guys probably won't be in the rec center the rest of this year. So now we've switched over to virtual.
Okay. All right. Sherilyn, did you have some more questions?
The question that is posed in my mind about the business, because like I said, I'm a business, so I'm really focused about it. Breauna, could you tell us something that in business and consulting that you see that we're missing as business owners, as people are developing their companies, and something that you're even teaching the youth and the building the skills? And I think that's awesome because, it makes a good start when you have that sense at a younger age, especially when you're trying to explore different things. So as you are seeing people get their businesses, what is something that is overlooked that we're missing? Maybe we never get it or get it on the back end, and that you're teaching the younger kids in your building the skills program?
To actually map out a plan.
Okay.
A lot of people say, I'm going to do this, and they just start doing anything. And then it's like, once they start, like, hold on, let me give you an actual example. Let's say there are some people, I'm gonna go back with the nonprofit example. I'm gonna start a nonprofit. We're gonna give food to the homeless. That's the basic concept in their head, right? Mm-hmm. They'll go out and do it. And then when they want to elevate it and, grow it, they don't realize, wait, me doing this, it's going to take money to do it. So now as the owner, I have to spend time fundraising. They think, oh yeah, I know nonprofits can get a grant, so I'll be fine. Not realizing while you're waiting on the results of the grant, you still need day-to-day money to continue to operate. So now you're the owner, but you're still the fundraiser, and then you need volunteers. So now you're the recruiter. And sometimes people have this one vision and don't realize they have to play all of these different roles, and it intimidates them, and they quit their business. Wow. So it's real important to know, like, what you're signing up for. You're never signing up for just that, especially as the owner. As the owner, you can have that vision and that purpose, but 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be the one delivering it. You're going to be the one directing it. A lot of people can't let go either. I have businesses that I work with that have their volunteers. They have their goal. They're functioning pretty good, but they're stressed out because they're micromanaging. They don't want to let anyone do the positions they created. They don't know how to let go and let people step in.
One thing I can add to that as well is that a lot of people don't take into consideration that when starting a new business, it's going to take you some time to build up to where you want to be. You're not going to start a business today and quit your job tomorrow.
There you go.
A lot of businesses fail within the first 5 years because they don't know what all it entails. And really the first 3 to 5 years are going to be you learning, you learning yourself, what your business needs, learning your avatar, your audience, how much you need for marketing. I mean, it's a lot. It takes time to build. And I think some people within that time end up giving up, even though that's their vision, their calling, that's their purpose and what God wanted them to do. They give up on it and they don't stick with it. And then they start something different, thinking that's going to be better and make the same mistakes again. So you have a lot of business hoppers. Okay. We all know people, and I was one of them. Y'all, I ain't going to even lie. I sold Mary Kay, Abe, I did them all of those types of things. But you really have to stick with something and continuously, just focus on making your business better. If something doesn't work out and you don't do well, don't just like throw your baby to the side. Just keep trying. Just keep on trying.
And that's why I try to suggest a lot of my clients to do a consultation.
Yeah.
You're in consulting field. Sometimes when you tell them you need to book a consultation, it's like, well, can you just tell me the answers right now? No, I need to sit down with you. We need to create a thorough plan to how you can really achieve your goals, because it's never just you're never just going in doing the one thing you think you're doing. Right. So that's the importance, I think. And I think that's something that's really looked over with consultants overall. Like, sitting down, like we sit down, we help you with the plan. You learn and grow as we go.
And so, for me, the consulting piece, if I want to know if I want to work with you, it's not you just determining whether you want to work with me. I need to make sure that what it is that you're looking for, I can deliver. If it's not, my forte or something that I don't do, I'm not going to take your money and say, yeah, I can do this for you. I might have to send you to someone else. So, it just saves you a lot of time and heartache and drama in the end if you do those.
Right. That's good. That's good. That's really, really good advice. I also want to ask both you ladies my favorite question. In the world of everybody's business, how do you self-care? How do you keep a level head to help you in what you are, just dealing with everyday life, dealing with your businesses, your own families? What keeps you level? Anyone can answer. We all still trying to figure it out. Are we level?
Listen.
You want that one, or you want me to take that question first?
We get to
y'all
both take it.
Y'all both take it.
For me, I've been, just making a point to read my scriptures every day, something. The Bible app is wonderful because it's something, quick, you can read. Right. But then I have this daily prayer book that I've been reading. I also started scheduling monthly massages because I'm like, that's just that time that I deserve that,
Yeah.
I find myself a lot of times picking up so many extra responsibilities that I feel like, well, okay, I think I done bit off a little bit more than I can chew. Like right now, I'm teaching on Saturdays. I'm teaching on, and this isn't for my business, it's for my full-time job. We got a grant to help children who needed extra help in reading. And so I'm one of the teachers for that program on Saturdays. So I'm teaching on Saturdays. And then, so really Sunday is the only day that I have. And then I'm, of course, working my business every day, just, making sure that I have things in line for that. So, sometimes it's a challenge. We can find ourselves going on and on and on, and you're like, dang, I haven't done anything for myself lately, especially if you have kids too, they're pulling from you, your spouse or partner or whatever. So, just mainly for me, getting my massages and my pedicures. That's it.
Yeah, since you're still in 82-degree weather, you still got those toes out.
Yeah, I can still do that. Yeah.
I'm not jealous of nothing.
I am.
Well, since you mentioned that, I will say that's the great thing that I love about living in Florida. I miss a lot of parts about Ohio, Cleveland, especially because I'm born and raised. But the one thing that I can say when it comes to my mental health, the fact that when I do feel overwhelmed, I could just walk outside and the sun hits me, or I can go to the beach or just go to a restaurant and sit outside. That helps out a lot, because I don't have to go anywhere to vacation. I can vacation here,
Yeah.
So that has helped me a lot.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Every year I tell myself, I say, okay, I need to go on at least 2 trips, because that's my mental health. And on those trips, me and my friends, we make a pact, because I got 2 close friends. They also own businesses. And we say, we cannot talk about business at all this whole trip. No business talking. And then also, when I become overwhelmed, I'm gonna be honest, I send my daughter to daycare and I stay at home. I will stay at home and catch up on my sleep. I catch up on my prayer and I just relax.
Yeah.
But when I start feeling like that, you start knowing when you need a break prior to really needing it. So I start preparing, the projects and the money that I do make, I'll start setting that aside. This is the daycare money. This is my play money. This week, I'm going to do everything I want to do. I'm going to sleep. I might shop. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do, just so next week I can come back ready. So
yeah.
I plan, I guess. I guess I'm just a planner.
That's some good stuff. That's some good stuff, though. That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have nothing to pour out, you don't have nothing, then how can you be effective, or especially with dealing with the type of businesses that you all are in? You know what I'm saying? Got to keep up, because you feel yourself wearing that and don't realize that you wearing it. Because you have to have passion in what you're doing, and you wear it sometimes. So it's learning how to unzip and take off that jacket of everybody else's business, so that you can stay functional for yourself and for other things.
And sometimes you just have to shut it down. Sometimes I wake up, today is the day. I'm shutting it down. I'm calling off work. You going to school? Like, don't talk to me. Like, I need a day. Don't nobody call my phone. I need a day. Sometimes you have to do that, especially if you find yourself just going so hard for so long and haven't, it's just one thing piling and piling and piling. And some days you got to shut it down and just say no. It's so hard for business owners to say no.
Yeah.
Very hard for us to do that.
I'm be honest, I'm terrified of shutting it down. I'm not gonna lie. If I don't plan it ahead of time, I probably not gonna shut it down. I can't shut it down. Because my whole survival depends on it. Like, I haven't worked a job in 5 years. So it's like, I know you're talking about just the day. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but sometimes, when your rent due and you got those bills, it's like, I don't want to regret this day. So let me get to work.
Right. Now, see, for you, one day makes a difference. I still work a full-time job. So,
okay.
Yeah, so I can shut it down, because I didn't work and earn all these these hours. Some days I
miss those vacation hours. As a business owner, I miss having those business out. But
that does bring me to the point, like we were talking about before with business owners. That's another thing that you forget. Like, you can't just call off of work, or you can't if you take a day off, that's your money. That's your bread and butter all day. You don't get paid holidays. You don't work just 8 hours a day. You're working 12, sometimes 15 hours a day. So that's another thing that, people don't tend to realize, when becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to say, ladies, as well, we're just getting close to that hour. So let's just start our round of encouragement here. So starting back to you, Carmon, can you please leave the viewers with a word of encouragement?
Absolutely. I just want to say to anybody, that you are worthy. We all are here for a purpose and a reason. It doesn't matter where you grew up. It doesn't matter what your parents did. It doesn't matter what they said. It doesn't matter what they called you. You are called by God, what God called you to be. And so all of the things that we carry with us on a daily basis, don't continue to allow it to fester, and don't allow it to tornado through your spirit. You know, let it go and continue to move forward, and know that today is going to look different than tomorrow.
Mhm.
It will be. Every day is brighter. And even if you have a bad day, so be it. We all have bad days. Jesus had a bad day.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Don't give
That's
up.
right.
You're here for a purpose.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
And Breauna?
All I can say is perfect your craft, find out your talents, whatever you're good at, continue to do it, continue to grow it. Don't expect to be perfect. Just continue, and you'll get good enough. You'll be able to do it, you know. Read your word. Always hold yourself accountable to something, to someone. You know, I prefer Jesus, but you know, a higher power is great. And just try to take the time to get to know yourself and your passions, so you can just learn what path you really want to be on. You know, you gotta take the time to get to know yourself. Continue to grow yourself. I mean, that's gonna be the most important thing with anything that you do. That's universal. Practice self-love, self-care, pray, keep your mind healthy. And that's pretty much it.
Oh, that's good. And Sherilyn?
I just wanted to say, baby, you can do it. Take
Yeah.
your time and do it right.
Yes.
That's it.
That sounds like a song.
Baby, you can do it. Take your time. Do it right. You can do it, baby. Do it tonight. And I think that's it's gonna take a couple years, like Carmen said, but you gotta be legit, like Breauna said. So take your time, do it right, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Yes. And I just want to piggyback off of that as well. I like what you said is don't give up. Don't give up what God gave you, your vision. Have a little more patience. And then I love when you said that to perfect your craft. And it is it's time to take a break. So
you may contact Carmon Hinton at coachingwithrise.com. Once again, that's coachingwithrise.com. You may contact Breauna Wisdom at www.wisdomworksandconsulting.com. That's www.wisdomworksandconsulting.com.
So ladies, I just want to thank you once again. This has all been so great. Thank you.
Awesome job, ladies. So great to meet you all.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
All right. You all have a good evening. Okay.
You
Take
too.
care.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's a divine connection.